finish out the GT90 2 years ago.
Oh,
and that was like a bucket list forever for me. And then this was always number 2.
Good morning, my friend. I hope you're well. It's actually afternoon for you. I'm chasing a crazy car. It's a 1,000 horsepower 1990s one-off supercar. Very sort of famous but mythical creature that apparently was 268 miles per hour. And I believe that it was someone from the Maktoum family. So the obviously the ruling family of Dubai. I know you have the most incredible connections in the region through your passion of cars and everything else. And I wanted to try to maybe get an interview, maybe ask some questions. Apparently, Sheikh Ahmed Al Maktoum spent somewhere between $2 and $4 million. I've heard as much as $3.6 million having this car built for him between 1991 and 1995. So I'd love to try to see if we can arrange something, an interview or something to dig up some more information. Again, I can't thank you enough. Really, really, really big hug from Miami, and would love your help with this.
Hello, my friend. It's always great to hear from you. Regards to the family and everyone in Miami. I've heard about the car and I've seen it once, maybe in 2000, 2001, if I recall correctly. Sheikh Ahmed Al Maktoum basically is the brother of Sheikh Mohammed Al Maktoum, who's the ruler of Dubai. I've met him a couple of times. I'll give some people a call later on today and I'll let you know.
We just sent the bill of sale for the black LP640 manual. There it is. You sent your envelope. Done. Ready to get on the plane. Let's go. Sold. That's how it's done, baby. That's how it's done.
We'd like to be the first to welcome you to Charlotte, North Carolina.
I get a message actually on Instagram from a follower, super sweetheart guy out of Italy, and he messaged me and says, hey, I have a really special car for sale. I know you love wacky supercars. And he sends me the photo. I'm like, oh my God, I haven't seen this car in years. It was famously for sale in the US. It had gone to the cruise auction, I think in 2008. And I remember hearing Hooper telling me a story about it once. Probably, I would say, one of the craziest stories of any 90s supercar, hypercar. Could be one of the most expensive one-off production cars ever made. Maybe one of the fastest in the world. And a car that I'm gonna say we're rediscovering it because it's known, but I don't think anyone's seen it since like 2010, 2011. So I said, yeah, I'd be super interested. And he said, yeah, it's still in the US. It's owned by a gentleman in Europe that kept it in the US. It's like, okay, that's weird. All right, fine, totally fine. You know, can we go inspect it? I asked all the right questions. He says, yeah, of course you can go see it. I said, all right, cool. I said, I want the car. Let's negotiate a price. So I go to Hooper and I tell him, hey, didn't you work on this? You used to work on this car? And he goes, oh yeah, that was Eddie's car.
I started working on it probably about 2008, the first time. I went by this little spot in Concord and tried to bleed the clutch, and I did, and it worked momentarily, and then it just dumped the fluid all over the place. And then I took the gearbox out in this little showroom, and I did it by thinking about how they took those gearbox transaxles out. Audi did it in Le Mans, and they did it in like 4.5 minutes.
Yeah,
and I was thinking, okay, you know, Group C car, I'll pull everything, I just roll it back on its own wheels. I don't have to take the axles off, whatever. And somebody had replaced the clutch and rebuilt the hydraulic slave, but where they messed up was the seals. They put round O-rings in there, and you can't put a round O-ring on a shaft. It'll just start to roll up.
Yep.
You need like a scraper seal, something flat, usually made out of something like Teflon. But so that was the first time I messed with it, and then eventually I had a guy from Volvo, an engineer friend of mine.
Okay.
Working with a company trying making seals off the measurements. He made complete drawings of this slave cylinder. And this was a big deal. I talked to the people that made it in the UK. That was just the beginning of this, you know. And then that ended up using like a forklift seal. And then once it was mobile, then I got it back at the dealer. This was after Eddie had become my boss. And back at that time, he was just my buddy.
Oh, that's no way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then it had a functional clutch, and I did some other work on it, and I ran into a problem, you know, where it wouldn't run on one cylinder, the coil wasn't getting the signal to ignite.
Okay.
I mean, I figured out what all the bits and pieces were. I guess I talked to Lauderschmidt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Kurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Him.
We're gonna reach out to him. I mean, that's like.
So then the engine management was made by a guy named Lenz in Germany.
Okay.
He used to be a big deal designer with Siemens, and he designed, if I'm not mistaken, like the engine management for BMW Formula One back in the 80s, right? Back when they were champs. I talked to him and was dealing with those guys trying to get some spares. We think we got this. We think, oh, that's great because I need it. And then the doors got padlocked. After that point, I don't know what happened to it.
Wow. And I don't think anyone has really researched it and understood the full story. So this is a exciting trip for us. Next stop to have some barbecue. I mean, we can't be in the Carolinas without getting some barbecue. I would say the hardest part of anything when you're buying something like so crazy and unique is like, how do you put a value on something like this? And one of the reasons I lost, probably one of, I would say, in the past few years, my biggest letdowns, and I know you guys will remember this, was the Isdera. I think it's the Commendatore.
Yeah.
Super famous car. The owner wanted to sell it. I believe it was the original owner. It was in Germany. I have it written down, September of 2020. So the world was in a weird place, but cars were actually doing well at that point. I said, listen, you know, we're in the middle of COVID. I give you $500,000-$600,000 and I'll close in 24 hours. It was like 24 or 48 hours. And the owner at the time wanted like $800,000, $900,000. He agreed as long as we would close quick. I had a friend that actually flew to go see it, and my friend started to basically put doubt in my stomach. And this is not a car you can call other experts and start talking about value, because you don't want to lose the car either. And he started saying, "Ooh, I don't know. There's no following for those cars." And I'm like, yeah, but it's so iconic. And we lost the car. Someone else bought it. The car went to auction and it sold for $1.369 million US. So it wasn't about the money. It was the fact that I made a mistake in not closing quickly, not just saying, yes, I'll do it. And I started to doubt my gut feeling, which gut feeling is everything. And that's where this car, it is hard to value, and it is hard to understand it. No one has really documented the history right yet. You know, Hooper talked about, you know, potentially it just being a rebodied Sauber C9. C7, something like that. So
It's a Group C race car rebody.
This technically is a car that has gone so unrecognized. Not technically, it is a car that has gone so unrecognized for technically no good reason other than that they only made one.
What's about you?
how are you, man? How's everything?
Want to take a look?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
That is so freaking wild.
I crawl through here, put my legs back, and then flip my rear end into the seat.
Wait, Sheikh Maktoum?
So this was the
Stop.
guy who originally had the car built.
Hold on a
Yeah,
second.
Sheikh Maktoum.
Hold on a second. Wait a minute.
So
Where does it say that?
Sheikh Ahmed Al Maktoum.
so they originally produced the car at 1 bar of boost to make 900 newton meters torque. It's tuned up to 1200 newton meters, and then, you know, it invalidates their guarantee.
Guarantee becomes
gets-
invalid.
So basically,
That's the line.
They're 1 bar of boost producing 990 newton meters of torque with 854 horsepower, which was also fully adequate for the acceleration test. The 1.2 bar boost requested by the previous owner increases the torque to 1,200 newton meters, which is more than this engine was modified for, and so therefore invalidates the guarantee, essentially the warranty. That is the most epic letter I've ever seen.
This is the handbook typed by Lotec. So.
Oh my god, that's so crazy.
On a typewriter.
This is wild.
So this is how to check the oil, where to jack the car from and stuff like that. So.
We're just on the way to the airport now. Let me call you tomorrow, and then yeah, Monday's fine. You guys ready? Welcome back, sir. What's going on, man?
How are you?
How is everything?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. You ready?
Yeah, I'm pumped, man.
All right, we'll grab Gabe and then we'll go. So you're gonna follow me into the port and just stay with me. What a location. Insane. Insane. Alright, it's moments like this when all of the hard work, all of the disasters, issues with an XJ220, issues with a Countach, it totally makes it worth it. This is, to have the opportunity to just rediscover things like this. I mean, this is not a barn find or anything like that. It's not a car that's like, you know, we're discovering. It's a known car, but to bring it out, most people don't know the full story. Most people don't know all of the details. So to be able to have the opportunity to present it to the public in this way, in the right way, in a special location like this, it's surreal.
180. Yeah. Looking good, man. This is wild.
One switch.
Yeah, we'll do it up. Get a little wide here. Back straight. Yeah, I'll probably back straight it up. Yeah. Coming. Tiny bit to the right. Thank you, Gabe. Steven, thank you so much. Last one, we'll do profile. Nose that way, directly straight. Shot the GP90 2 years ago. Oh, and that was like a bucket list forever for me. And then this was always number 2 because I always wanted to shoot this car, and like it's just wild that it's here. It's just like a very wild shoot, man.
And the timing of you being here.
It's perfect.
The truck making it on time.
Yeah, it's perfect. Location is crazy.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, I gotta
The city.
This is insane. Good stuff, dude. Oh,
Congrats.
This is wild. There's a couple cars, right, that stand out. This is definitely one of them, man. Unreal. It's cool to shoot it like here too, like a location like this, not in like a studio or this is just nuts, man.
You're talking about a car that has been almost like a little bit mystified, right? So you look it up and you see all these old school articles, 20-year-old, 10-year-old articles of essentially rumors of what the story is with this thing. So we're gonna actually figure out, you know, what really happened and dive into a lot of the nuances of what makes it what makes it so special, and also how it came to be. We can push it farther up until we can't push it anymore.
Correct.
And then try and yeah.
All right, you ready?
I don't know how we just did that, but we did. You good? Sheikh Ahmed Al Maktoum would be proud.
And then Ron Kimball, the famous photographer.
Okay.
So he did posters, calendars. I don't know if you remember back in the day.
Yeah.
Super iconic. Okay. So I contacted him. I'm buying the originals.
Yeah.
He shot the car. It looks like Arizona or California.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I have those old photos, but that was what probably made the car famous. Is it was on the cover of the calendar, World's Fastest Cars or something like that. Here we go.